For sure, the media landscape has been kind of crazy. Marami akong mga worries, but hindi naman ako nawawala ng pag-asa.
Hello, supers! Welcome back to Paano Ba To The Podcast, created and hosted by me, Bianca Gonzalez. It's the midterm elections. I hope you are exercising your right to vote today. For today's episode, we are revisiting a few very important conversations that I had back in 2022 about the sifting through the noise and the BS, about Pinoy behavior when it comes to elections, about discernment, disinformation, and of course, about hope. Let's start off with this clip from my conversation with my good friend and idol, internationally award-winning journalist Atom Araulio, who gives advice on dealing with people who trigger you online and in real life, and also how to not lose hope even when times get tough. I did want to share with you a letter of a letter sender that I feel is a struggle of a lot of us now. Okay, so this letter is from Miss Triggered. She's 29 years old from Baguio. Sabi niya, hello po. I know we all have our bets, but how can I not engage in debates or social media wars if I can see that people are misinformed? And minsan talagang ang sarap nilang sagutin because they're unreasonable. Nakaka-stress ang elections, pero minsan nakaka-stress din na hindi makialam, lalo na if you're politically aware. Sometimes pati sa family dinner may tension because of political discussions. Nakaka-trigger, nakakaloka, hell.
My goodness. I don't know the answer. No, I mean, mahirap. Mahirap kasi kahit ako, nagsistruggle ako dyan eh. I think to an extent, I have the advantage of this acceptance that in my line of work, it comes with the territory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even before this massive infodemic, it's called an infodemic kasi it's like an overabundance of information, both accurate and false. But that is the problem. There's so much information and there is deliberate disinformation that the intent is not just to convince people of a lie, but also to poison the well of truth. So parang it works both ways. So even if hindi ka sa, say, isang piece of disinformation or propaganda, when it's said again and again through different channels, and when these bad actors, these malign actors, discredit legitimate sources of information, you're left with the feeling that you really can't trust anyone. Under those circumstances, parang nagkakaroon talaga ng breakdown ng democracy. I would even say society, kasi we depend on shared truths for this society to function. Otherwise, how can we make decisions as a nation when we can't agree on what is right and wrong, when we can't agree on what happened in the past? Diba? Now, going back to the question of your letter sender, in the past, I feel like I took it for granted. Like many of us, the truth shall set us free. If I present a fact to this person because it's an established fact, that's the end of the discussion, diba? Tapos na, we can move on to the next question. But nowadays, that's not the case. And it makes it all the more difficult to engage. Kasi before, when the few times that I engage, I do so in good faith, within the limitations of social media, Twitter, 140 characters, Facebook, a little bit longer, but whatever. Ibig sabihin, hindi tayo nag-usap face-to-face. So meron talagang limitations yun. Sometimes when I have time or I'm in the mood, I do engage and try to explain in a calm manner and never in a condescending tone what I know based on the facts that I gathered personally from reputable sources. Pero ngayon, ang hirap na rin mag-engage kasi talagang kapag ang kausap mo ay wala naman talagang intention na umabot sa isang katotohanan, mauubos na talaga oras mo tsaka mapapagod ka lang talaga.
Yeah.
And it will ruin your day. I have to acknowledge that. May mga times na manansya ka na, sino ba tong tao na to? Para interesado pa talaga siyang makipagdiskusyon. Kasi pag hindi, talo rin ako kasi ang intent naman niya is ano ka lang
mabad trip ka, mag-trigger
ka. Exactly. Tapos kasalanan mo pa yon if you answer out of turn, right? So with people that are close to us, friends, family, it's an easier task Kasi we are coming from a place of either love, compassion, or genuine care. And you can do this in person. And you have stock, you have history that you can bank on so that it can buy you good faith, right? Parang alam mong, minsan kahit na nagkapikunan na kayo, alam nyo na hanggang dun lang yun. It's possible to salvage the relationship. And usually we're more patient with people that we know. But people that we don't know, it's really tough for me. I can't really answer that directly kasi there are two schools of thought. I used to be from the perspective na, sige, sagutin natin yan, engage tayo. Kasi responsibilidad natin yan lalo na sa panahon ng disinformation. I think media people have a real responsibility to fight disinformation. But halimbawa, malinaw naman na kinukuyog ka na or hindi naman sincere yung mga kausap mo, ba't ka mag-engage, di ba? Hindi ka lang, napagod ka lang. Pero the other extreme of that naman, which I don't feel is also correct, is just to ignore them and block them altogether. Kasi who else is going to engage? Again, the strategy is twofold. One is to shut down and to discredit media organizations or legitimate sources of information. Let's not forget, the other side of that is they will have a free reign over social media kung walang mga nagpo-push back. I would say, nag-apply pa rin naman yung mga old rules like be respectful.
Old rules. You're talking about us like we're the past.
I know.
But I get exactly what you mean.
Diba? Okay. Try as much as you can na maging level-headed. Don't resort to name-calling. Kasi may collateral damage. Minsan, iisip mo na, hindi, troll lang to. Pwede ako makipagbardagulan dito. Pero minsan hindi Minsan may mga real people behind those accounts that even if they're behaving badly, number one, they're voters. Number two, without their help, we can't stamp out disinformation. It's important to keep engaging on social media, and I think the way we can amplify that is through collaboration. Parang magtulungan tayo. Magkaroon ng, for example, sa media, nagkaroon ng fact-check network na nagtutulungan yung iba't ibang media organizations para lang magkaroon ng united front. On an individual level, do what you can. You're not required to engage every single person for your sanity, for your mental health. But when you have a feeling that, I can talk to this person and meron ka may share, then do that. Ako, ganun din ang ginagawa ko. Hopefully, all of those little efforts accumulate or add up.
Yeah, very, very good and sound advice. You grew up with activists as parents. You also fought for your own different causes in the different stages of your life growing up. And that kind of work entails parang convincing someone of what you're fighting for, right? Is that correct to say?
Yeah.
Or convincing someone of why this issue is important. So I guess the question is, based on your life experience as a person, nagkataon na lang na naging journalist ka, how do you convince someone about an important issue to you?
Well, actually, that's a great question kasi it forces me to reflect as well. You're right parang the same rules apply naman it's still about winning hearts and minds, diba? The social media landscape makes it all the more difficult again because disinformation is so effective It appeals to our basest instincts which is to form tribes, to validate my own beliefs, and to, act out in an emotional manner. And I think that what makes us human is the fact that we should control those emotions. And we should take a step back and look at the big picture. Because otherwise, we're no better than animals, diba? Parang just acting out on instinct and forming our little silos, forming our little tribes. When I was younger, I think what I should remind myself is, number one, infinite patience. Kasi kahit naman nung estudyante ako, wala naman akong illusion na yung naabot natin na democracy, yung naabot natin na freedoms ay madaling nakuha Talagang pinaglaban yan Dugot pawis. Tsaka literally people died for us to have the freedoms that we have at the moment. Yung mga bagay that we take for granted, voting, 8-hour work schedules, 13th month pay, and so on and so forth. Alam mo na it all starts a spark in the darkness. And even if you're surrounded by darkness, there's really no reason to despair. Kasi when you're on the side of truth, I hesitate to say it, pero parang it's inevitable that even if the battle is long, you're going to win that battle. even if there are ups and downs, you're going to win that battle. It's not the first time that we've been plunged into this kind of situation. Now that it's happening, bigla ko napaisip sa mga panahong, kumbaga, yung information ay hindi madaling makuha or wala pang science guiding the way nung panahon ng tinatawag na Dark Ages. Yung mga tao, basically, kanya-kanya rin yan eh. Through the effort of people like us na hindi nawawalan ng pag-asa at infinitely patient and also humble. Na it might also be our own weaknesses that brought us to this position in the first place. Sometimes you don't win a certain battle, but the war is long. So sabi nga nila, try again, fail better. Diba? Even if there are heartaches, and I think there will be a lot still before we finally win or finally stamp out this information. Eventually, we'll get there, I think. Basta tuloy-tuloy lang din yung efforts ng mga tao.
Tuloy-tuloy lang talaga ang efforts, and we are in it for the long haul. We are helping shape the future of the next generations. From Atom, we now chat with another broadcast journalist, someone whose clips from her shows would go viral because of how she calls out what is not right, sets things straight, and does not take BS. She's like an older sister to me. Here's my conversation with Carmina Constantino. What comes with the younger generation being more invested in things happening around is also the big challenge of sifting through the noise, sifting through the BS, right? Yeah. So I just wanted to ask, how do you, not just as a journalist, but as a person, as a wife, as a mom, how do you sift through all the noise and all the BS that you see and read?
Very simple. Before you can sift through the BS externally, there's got to be a process of sifting through BS internally. Because how can you expect yourself to see what is right, know what is wrong, when inside you, you don't have a compass? Dapat alam mo muna yon before you can actually go out there and see through the noise and through the BS. So that's where you should start. You have to know your core before you can know, what to believe and what not to believe. Because essentially, if you know your core, you won't even be asking yourself, what is misinformation? What is disinformation? You would know right away. Yeah.
Yeah. Ang ganda how the answer is actually just so simple but harder to do. Yeah, I guess. And iba na the younger generation, they are growing up with so much more noise than when we were growing up, right? Correct. So to a young person listening to this, how is that? How does one find their core?
Your core. You look at the way you were raised. You look at the family, your first environment, right? Your first taste of humanity and spirituality and your first taste of governance. So you look at that. If you know that, that's going to be your North Star. The challenge is everything seems to be lived nowadays in an alternate universe called the internet, right? Which is very separate and distinct from what should be their reality. But I have faith that beyond that, there was some kind of parenting and nurturing and loving that was involved first before they were set free into this alternate universe.
Yeah.
So you go back to that. Paano ka ba pinalaki ng magulang mo? Ano ba ang mga leksyon na tinuro sa'yo ng lolo't lola mo? Diba? Yung mga pag-hangout mo with your titos and your titas, right? Ano yung mga naging bonding moments nyo at bakit yun tumatak sa'yo? All of these things contribute to who you are now, and all of these things should form that core within you. That would, again, serve as your compass para maniwala ka o hindi ka maniwala dun sa mga nababasa, nakikita at napapanood mo.
Love that.
Diba? You're a mom. I mean,
yeah, I know. That's why parang when you were explaining that, I'm like, oh my gosh, what a responsibility.
Yeah. It sets these kids up for the future. Not just putting them on the right path, iba yun eh. Pero putting them on the right path, armed with knowledge and conviction and belief, not only in themselves, but in humanity, that's arming them completely.
Yeah.
Diba?
So for the younger generation now, like I mentioned earlier, social media is really the main source. Whether it's social media opinions or social media links to legitimate news sources. Diba? That's where everyone looks eh. And obviously, when you open social media, mix na yon ng mga opinion ng tao at ng legit news. So for someone who is confused. Ano ba yung paniniwalaan ko?
Mm-mm.
What advice can you give?
Sino ba ako? Tanungin mo yun sa sarili mo. Going back to what we were talking about earlier, paano ka ba pinalaki? Kung pinalaki ka ng mga magulang mo na may respeto, may pagmamahal sa bayan, sa kapwa, makikita mo naman kung alin yung hindi tama at hindi na wasto. Makikita mo kung sino yung dapat paniwalaan. Kasi ang paniniwalaan mo lang din naman kung sino yung katawan din sa mga paniniwala mo. Hindi ba? Those who represent you. If that's how you were brought up and that's how you were raised, then why would you allow yourself to listen to someone else that's totally opposite to the values that were ingrained in you growing up? Diba? It doesn't make sense. So kung may ganon, ibig sabihin, hindi tama. May disconnect sa katauhan mo at sa kung ano yung paniniwalaan mo. So you always have to go back to yourself. We're not even talking about which candidate here, diba? We're talking about this individual person. We're talking about yourself. So you just go back to that. I have no doubt. Once you go back to that, you'll be able to sift through the noise.
Yeah.
Diba? Pero ang interesting dito, I've been getting a lot of DMs, magkaiba yung pananaw ng magulang sa anak.
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, you can assume that because the parents raised the child, then they would have similarities in opinion, di ba? But I've been getting a lot of DMs saying, paano ba to? Magkaiba kami ng magulang ko. So I just tell them, thank your parents for raising you to have conviction, to be independent-minded. Because if it weren't for them, you wouldn't have this conviction now. So, and if that's their journey, then that's their journey. They may have different beliefs, pero ang importante, ikaw, you arrived at this decision and you arrived having this kind of conviction.
Tama. May critical thinking involved.
Oo, una, dapat meron ngayon kasi nga grabe, B. It's
crazy.
Grabe siya.
That's why I appreciate so much the work that you do and fellow journalists do. Kasi the way you ask questions encourages you to think critically.
Mm-mm. Yeah, that's how I was raised, to have critical thought. You know, you don't just accept things as they are.
Yes.
You always have the curious mind and question, not for curiosity's sake, but there's got to be an end goal there somewhere. Hindi lang yung basta you're just gonna challenge for nothing, diba? But it's got to amount to something. Yeah, critical thought, I don't even know if it can be taught easily. Nasa tao din kasi.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure, my parents didn't say you have to have critical thought. Diba?
You saw it in them. Yeah.
I saw it in them. And siguro they raised me and my siblings in an environment. It's open because even if I saw it in them, kung hindi rin naman nila ako pinalaki na maging bukas, you know, I wouldn't even probably give a second thought to what they're doing. Diba? But there's some sort of, it's a very delicate dance of nudging and influencing by way of modeling. Diba? Kasi you can't just, you can't just do whatever it is that you believe in and hope that someday your kids will take to it. There's got to be some nudging involved as well that's not abrasive.
Yeah.
Para hindi ma-turn off yung bata.
Yeah.
Which I think is what our parents did to us.
I think that's the right way to look at it. The way to sift through the BS is you have to not take things as you see it. May finorward sa'yo na TikTok video, naniwala ka kaagad. Di ba parang there is some filtering, critical thinking involved. And I guess that's harder nga now because everything's instant. Like, click, andyan na. Click, andyan na.
You know, I said in one interview, we used to watch the circus. But now we're part of the circus. So now that we're part of this circus, it's also incumbent upon us to get ourselves out of the circus because we've seen it time and again. And I hope to God that this time will be different because once the winners are there, you forget the people all over again. Kailangan hindi lang natin tinitingnan yung mga kandidato pero yung mga supporters ng both sides. Kasi tayo lang din yung magsasama in the end. Lahat sila mananalo. How are they going to galvanize, harness the power of the people despite the very tumultuous campaign? That's going to be on them, yes, but it also should be on us.
We all have this shared responsibility And part of that responsibility is going out to vote on this one day every few years that we, the people, have the power to choose the leaders we believe in. And speaking of choose, what are some things we need to know about how Filipinos choose our leaders? Historically, culturally, paano ba tayo napunta dito? Here's a part of my conversation with Dr. Nicole Curato. She's a sociologist whose work focuses on deliberative democracy, and she's also a professor of political sociology. Here it is. In the many years that you've been studying this, what has been the behavior of Pinoys, I guess, in general when it comes to voting? And given that, I guess what can first-time voters learn from it?
Of course, when we talk about elections, we talk about the leaders that we want, right? So I think meron akong good news and meron akong bad news.
Okay.
Yung good news ko is, kung titignan natin yung mga studies, pare-pareho naman halos yung qualities na hinahanap ng mga Pilipino sa mga leaders natin. So karamihan ng mga Pilipino gusto yung mga leader na may nagawa na, may napatunayan na. Iba gusto ng leaders na hindi corrupt. Tuwing elections lumalabas to usually sa studies namin, gusto ng Pilipino yung mga leader na compassionate. So these are leaders who care for the poor. So in other words, good news na pare-pareho naman tayo ng gusto. So this is what we know about the Filipino culture during the elections.
Yeah.
But meron tayong bad news. Ang bad news ko is magkakaiba tayo ng sources of information tungkol sa mga kandidato na mumumuno sa bansa. Kaya maraming beses siguro naloloka tayo na parang, bakit siya yung iboboto mo? Eh di ba sabi mo ayaw mo ng corrupt? Or bakit ayaw mo yung kandidato na to? Eh sabi mo, gusto mo ng maraming nagawa. Marami nang nagawa tong kandidato na to. So yung reason kung bakit tayo magkakaiba ng assessments with different candidates is because iba-iba yung nakikita natin sa newsfeed natin. Iba-iba yung communities na ginagalawan natin. Nakatira tayo sa isang bansa, pero magkaiba yung pagtingin natin sa realidad kasi magkakaiba tayo ng realidad na ginagalawan online and offline. Yun yung good news and yung bad news ko sa'yo. We share the same values as a nation, which is fantastic.
Which is great to know.
Kasi hindi lahat ng bansa ganun eh. At least in the Philippines, we can say that we share the same values as a nation. But the information that we consume and how we make sense of that information varies greatly. Yung parati kong sinasabi when I talk to first-time voters is that kung ikaw nga meron kang gustong jowain or meron kang crush, tapos pinapa-justify sa'yo ng mga kaibigan mo, bakit mo siya crush? Bakit mo siya type? Diba? And then you start giving reasons and then suddenly ma-realize mo, nga, teka lang, bakit ko ba to type? Diba? Ikaw rin nagkakaroon ka ng clarity in your head when you explain your positions to other people, right? Ngayon, love life mo lang yun. Ito, bayan yung nakasalalay dito, di ba? So I think that also matters na justify your votes to your friends, to your family members, and it might not just convince them to vote the way you want them to vote, but it might actually pressure you to think about your vote more carefully. We don't just try to persuade other people to change their minds, that we also justify our votes to others, so we also get clarity of thought. I think I also want to emphasize that we have to look beyond these elections. And we always talk about cancel culture, diba? Do you cancel your friends na magkaiba yung iboboto sa iboboto mo? I think that's really scary. We need to find shared spaces where we become friends, maintain civic friendships. Kasi we need to maintain those friendships so that when we are friends today, we can still fight tomorrow. Kasi kung kinancel mo na sila, hindi na tayo mag-uusap. Makikipag-engage pa rin ako sa mga kaibigan ko na medyo hindi ako naliliwanagan kung bakit ito yung iboboto nila. Mahalaga na magkaibigan tayo ngayon para makapag-usap pa rin tayo tungkol sa politika bukas. So that's my last advice.
That has got to be one of the best pieces of advice I've ever heard. When we are still friends today, we can still fight for our future together tomorrow. To those who are still headed out to vote, before we end, I'd like to share a few final pointers from a longtime volunteer like me. He was formerly the National Youth Commission Chair. And aside from being one of the most recognized actors today, he's the chairman of the organization Aktor. Ding Dong Dantes shares his process of discernment, but also his mindset when the votes are in, when the count is done, and moving forward with our next set of leaders. You being a parent as well, anong ma-advise mo sa lahat ng first-time voters, especially the young ones?
Ay nako, grabe. Tayo, mga magulang na tayo ngayon. Siguro for the past decade, may proseso rin ako eh. Parang yung process ko na ito ay similar doon sa process ko as an actor kapag nag-aaral ako. umaatake ako ng role. And these are 3 very simple steps na pwedeng gamitin, di ba? Na after na nagamit ko dito sa pagpili. Halimbawa, yung first step ko is to plan. Siyempre, to plan. So parang halimbawa, nakuha ko yung script, ano ba yung attacking gagawin ko rito, magre-research ako, 'di ba? Kukuha ko ng inspiration dito, etc. And when you say paplanuhin mo yung gagawin mo, paplanuhin mo yung proseso sa pagpili ng impormasyon, sa pagpili ng sa source of information pa nga Sino ba ang credible? Sino ba ang pakikinggan ko? Hindi lang dapat natin kunin ang lahat ng impormasyong ito sa internet. 'Di ba? We have to go out of our way. Kailangan kumausap tayo ng tao, 'di ba? Kumausap tayo ng mga naaapektuhan dito sa mga nangyayari sa lipunan. Halimbawa, the vulnerable, kausapin natin ano ba yung pangangailangan nila. Hindi lang yung sarili mong pangangailangan kasi kung ang pagbabasihan mo yung sarili mong pangangailangan ay medyo selfish naman yon. Kailangan kunin mo yung sentiment ng pangkalahatan. You talk to people, okay makipagdebate, alamin mo yung nasa loob nila. Pero pinaka-importante talaga ay kung ano yung source of information. Kasi yun yung paniniwalaan mo So sino ba yung may track record? Sino ba yung organizations or institutions na alam mong matagal ng pinagkakatiwalaan ng maraming tao? Yun yung kukunin mo. Now, when you have this information, go to the second step, which is the discernment process. Ito na ngayon yung alam ko. Ito yung options ko and choices ko. Paano ko ngayon i-attack ito? Ano yung choice or plan of attack ko sa role? Pero dito, ano yung discernment process ko on whom to choose? What I do is that I have my parang set of values na gusto ko sa isang leader. Para sa akin, very, very clear. Gusto ko yung leader ko ay may integridad. Gusto ko competent siya. Yung values niya for humanity ay talagang nasa frontline ng kanyang ipinaglalaban. And fourth, yung inspiring leader ang gusto ko. So having said those, titignan ko ngayon kung ano ngayon yung pangangailangan ng lipunan at ibabangga ko yon. Tapos doon ko pipiliin sino kaya yung nagmamatch dito sa criteria ko at sa kung ano yung kailangan ng lipunan. I plan, I discern, and then I act. Meaning you have to act on it. Literally in its sense, exercise mo talaga yung right mo to vote. And in my case, ini-execute ko na yung role. Pero para sa atin, for us citizens, it is our part to execute our right to vote, and this is our part to prove that we are responsible citizens participating in this democratic process. Kailangan win or lose, papanindigan mo yung kandidato mo. Kasi ang binoboto mo ay representation ng pangarap mo. Ito ay representation ng values mo, representation ng paniniwala mo. Hindi yung mismong tao lang. Because yung taong ito ang maaaring magdadala sa'yo o sa buong bansa doon sa paniniwalang yon. So sana wag mong bitawan yon. Matalo man o manalo, syempre ibig sabihin, you also have to be responsible of your vote. Kung yung taong binoto natin ay nanalo at gumawa ng mabuti, then susuportahan natin. Pero kung yung taong binoto natin ay hindi na tumugma doon sa expectations, syempre, diba, we call them out. Kasi kailangan responsable ka rin doon sa paniniwala at paninindigan mo. Kasi hindi lang to parang one-time thing na, because everybody is excited and then all of a sudden, bibitiw tayo dahil tapos na. While it is the role of government, of course, to make life easy for us, at naniniwala ko na we also have to help. And we also have to do our part. It should not end on election day. Diba? Kailangan patuloy pa rin yung participation natin dyan. Sana yung spirit ng volunteerism, yung spirit ng participation, especially amongst the young ones now, maging ganito all throughout. Diba? Sana forever na ganito. Nakakatuwang makita na ang daming interesado ngayon. Sana hindi mawala yung passion ninyo tungkol dito. And I'm always praying na maging peaceful and credible itong elections na ito.
May we all have a peaceful and fair election day, and to everyone exercising their right to vote today, mabuhay kayo. Paano Ba To is created and hosted by me, Bianca Gonzalez, with podcast producer Anika Neri and edited by Paolo Halili. I would love to get your support. Please do click on the follow button if you are streaming this on Spotify, or click the subscribe button if you are watching this on YouTube. Please be part of our community of supers. You can follow at Paano Ba To on Instagram, at Ask Paano Ba To on TikTok, and you can join our private Facebook group that is our safe space, the Paano Ba To Super Group. Till our next episode, stay super, supers!